Welcome to the 245 podcast, which is the distance in centimeters I am from the one and only Josh Cruz right now.
He's in the studio.
Let's
go.
It is true. I am in the
Oh, my
podcast
word.
studio for actually the second time, but the first time recording a podcast.
Yes, our first time actually all together. So that's super
go.
fun.
How does it feel, Josh? How is this different?
It feels obviously more connected because I can actually see y'all, but the room vibe is surprisingly similar. Like, it's dark. When I record in my room, I turn the lights off except for like my string lights, but they aren't blue. And this studio has like blue TikTok lights, so probably a little more vibey than my room.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it also feels so much more official because there's just like tech all around me.
Yeah, feels very cool.
I'm looking at Joey like in the other studio through glass. But
Yeah,
I
fun
can
fact.
hear him.
Joey's in another room.
I got
all alone.
I got excommunicated.
The room only has 3 mics.
Voluntarily.
So we had to send Joey to the other room and just connected the studios together. But
I think at some point we have to come up with a name for this studio. Like, we kicked him to the curb. I don't know.
well, like what's
Davy
it
Jones
called?
locker.
Joey's over there in Davy Jones' locker.
It's like when you're picked last in dodgeball at school. Like
Yeah, you're
that's
that
like
kid.
Joey. He had to go to the other studio. The timeout studio, maybe.
the timeout studio. That's pretty good.
yeah, I
I
like
like
that.
that.
Go
But-
to your room.
Okay.
Just say like Joey's in timeout.
Yeah, Joey's in timeout. But Josh, why are you able to be here with us in person today? Because that's weird.
I am here because I am on fall break at Dort. It's actually called Heartland Weekend, I believe, is the official name right now. Used to be called Tri-State. It was kind of like Minnesota's version would be MEA, but it was like a teacher's conference. But yeah, we just get this Thursday and Friday off. And fun fact, I was telling the guys last week that I'm going to be home. And I think they just thought I meant the weekend or something. So I came home yesterday and they like checked my location. And Mike texted me, is like, wait, are you back? And we had already been planning to record the podcast on Thursday, but I guess they just thought I was going to be doing it from Dort. And I was just thinking, oh, I'll be in UNW. And now here we are. And they were like surprised that I was back already.
Yeah, I was like, well, he never told us. He just said he was going to be back for the weekend. So I assumed he was going to be back for the weekend, like Friday and Saturday, But
Yeah, I was able to come back on Wednesday, and here we are.
Yeah, we didn't really make that logical jump. But Josh, before we get going into life updates, can you explain what you're telling us at dinner about the saying at Dort about Tri-State? Because it just brings me a lot of joy.
and also the event that is happening next week when you
yeah.
get
Just
back.
explain the whole thing.
Okay, so Dort has a long-standing saying, and the saying goes, "Don't date before Tri-State." Essentially, it's for all the new freshies. We're telling them that they shouldn't commit to anyone and like be in a serious relationship before this break, which is Tri-State. But after Tri-State, it's like go ham. So on Monday, the day we get back, is the annual speed dating event, which
Ooh.
yeah, everyone can
Which
just
is really funny.
go and get matched up the day after Tri-State because now anything is fair game.
Really funny because I don't think Northwestern would ever do anything like that.
no.
Which is
No.
Why wouldn't it fly here?
There's
I'm
so
curious.
many successful marriages that just start on
On their
orientation
own,
week.
yeah.
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 Okay, so there's not like a hold off. It's just like orientation week. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're going for
I mean,
it.
our thing is ring by spring.
So you got to get started early.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, Tri-State. You could still go ring by spring, but it would be pushing it a little more.
Dude,
than
that'd be quick.
by Tri-State.
That'd be quick.
Like, I think I know of a couple couples that have started dating already since the beginning of the school year. Like, like 2 freshmen or such. But
Yeah.
so, they're getting going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're seeing it happen.
Yeah. We're watching from the sidelines.
Well, the thing about Northwestern that
Except for Mitch.
oh yeah.
He's out there on the field.
Hey, I was looking at statistics today for our podcast, and we are very popular with women, but especially eight
60 something % women, female that listen to our podcast.
Let's go.
And 18 to 25 year olds we're the most popular with. So
That's my range.
I'm just saying, Mitch might be single, and so is Josh, but I don't think for much longer. There's
If
just
we
No.
keep the podcast going, like
Yeah, if we have 67%, well, some of that's like our moms, so
And
take out 4 of
significant
those
others.
and significant others. So take out 6 people and yeah, 18 to 25 year olds. That sounds about right. For those of you who are listening in Taiwan, Might
We
make
appreciate you.
Might be a little more difficult, but
Yeah,
You
we have Taiwanese listeners. Actually, we think it's just
I'm like 100% confident that that is my Uncle Ryan and Aunt Suzanne because they are currently living in Taiwan, and I think they listen to it. So we're gonna go with that.
it's probably a pretty good guess.
Wait. Did you guys hear that?
I think I heard something.
Wait.
What?
Wait.
I definitely didn't hear anything.
I heard something.
I think I heard.
It's maybe because
I
you're in
think-
timeout right now.
I think we got.
Shut up, Mitch.
I think we got mail.
I think that's what
Oh.
that tone was too.
Oh,
the got
mail.
mail tone.
Yeah, the got mail tone. That is definitely a thing.
Yeah, it is now.
Yep.
And we would like to shout out Dana Wickart for sending us an email.
Can we golf clap? Golf?
Yeah.
Golf clap?
Thank you, Dana.
Thank
The
you.
email
Dana.
was a joy to read. Actually, I didn't see it right away. And then Mike texted today and he's like, guys, we got an email. And then I read it and I was like, yes, this is good. Dana emailed the podcast. And again, if you'd like to email the podcast, email is 2.5.4.
Josh. 2.4.
2.5.4.
2.4.5.
Yeah, wrong number. My bad, guys. 2.4.5.podcast@gmail.com.
245 spelled out.
Yeah. But Dana wrote, she said the podcast was highly entertaining, and she suggested a Q&A podcast. And I think that's a fun
Yeah,
idea.
we were talking about that a couple weeks ago. I think we'll want to do that for sure.
So-
We're like,
Oh yeah.
If you have, we'll just start like accumulating questions.
Yeah.
So send them into that email or text one of us in person. Send us questions that you would like to hear on a Q&A podcast.
coming soon.
And yeah, we'll do that soon in the future. Then she says the hate that Iowa got in the freshman episode was a little upsetting because Dana is a native Iowan, grew up in Iowa, currently at Dort, also in Iowa.
I'm sorry, Dana, that you had to go through that.
Yeah.
Growing up in Iowa, not our bullying.
Really, my heart goes out to all of our Iowa listeners. We know there are a few of you, so
Josh's heart goes out to you.
your guys' don't.
No,
Not one bit.
no.
Nah.
Dana, my heart goes out to you again for the callousness of my friends. It's all right.
Our Iowa listening population is going to go to 0%.
Dude, I wish we could see state statistics on Anchor instead of just countries.
It would probably be like 70% Minnesota and 30% Iowa because that's
Truth.
like all of our friends.
Anyways, yeah, we'll try not to bash on Iowa too much anymore.
Sorry about that, Dana.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Psych!
I'm going to keep going for it.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you, Dana, for the email. If you guys want a shout out on the podcast,
You know what
email
to do.
us 2.4.5.podcast@gmail.com. 2.4.5 all spelled out.
All right. Well, while we're all together, let's just give some life updates. What's going on with you guys?
Okay. I'll go first.
Joey, I'm looking at you through the glass.
Okay. Sorry. I thought you were just
Into
like,
the timeout room.
Yeah.
guys, come on. That is actually kind of funny. We should like buy a label. Like this is a timeout room. What's new in my life? Well, I don't know if I talked about this last time, but I finished my paper. That was like 15 pages on 7.
Yeah, we did talk about that. last
Okay.
time.
Okay. So it's relevant. It's good. The people probably want to know what happened.
Yeah, they would have just been dying to like, what happened with that paper?
They were probably losing sleep over it,
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. So I got it finished. I got it submitted, not at midnight. It was like 8 o'clock. So I was pretty proud of myself. And then I actually got it graded today, which is absolutely crazy because today is Thursday. I submitted on Tuesday. So my professor, shout out to Randy Nelson for being an absolute G at grading. I appreciate that. But your boy got a 95 out of 100. Let's go.
Golf clap? Golf clap?
Golf clap.
Thank you. I feel
Good job,
so
Joey.
loved. I feel so loved.
I'm glad, Joey.
So that's been the biggest thing going on, except for the fact that Josh is here. It just like made my day when I learned that he was going to be here in person doing a podcast because it's just so much better.
It's going to be hard to go back to our normal format of calling
Oh,
Josh.
that's going to be so sad.
Maybe we should just fly him here with our 245 podcast budget
Oh, yeah.
from all the money
So
we're
much
making
money.
and
Oh,
fly him
yeah.
here every weekend.
I think if we set up a GoFundMe, that could actually go places.
Yeah,
We
good.
need Doritos to sponsor us.
Doritos, once again, I am reaching out to ask you for a sponsorship.
I'm once again asking you
for your financial,
for your financial
donation.
support.
We're really popular with women, and women eat too, so we're good. They eat Doritos.
Fact.
Yeah.
Our fan base would probably eat Doritos if
Yeah.
you sponsored us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
So that's me. Zip to Mike.
Zip.
Popcorn me, I guess. I mean, I don't know, life's been pretty normal lately. I'm doing a lot of work right now on pre-production for a short film that I'm going to be filming for a class soon coming up here. So that's been fun. Getting that all figured out. I finally got all my actors figured out, so that's nice. That's kind of brings the stress down a little bit for sure. And then what else have I been doing? I've been, going to class, doing the normal. That's pretty much it.
You've been working out, haven't you?
I have been working out. I've
noticed.
Thank you, Joey.
Yeah.
I thought you looked different, Mike.
I've been absolutely yoked from the last month of just lifting. I've been benching 1,000 pounds. That's my PR. That is not true. That is not even close.
Oh, wait, it's
if you
not?
guys didn't,
Dude, no one's
If you
going to
didn't-
believe
if you
you.
didn't pick up on that,
Everyone knows 1,000 pounds is a
no,
lot.
guys, remember, most people have no idea what Mike looks like.
That's
They're just
true.
listening.
Exactly.
He could be huge.
You could just look like The Rock or
I
something.
actually do. I'm pretty close to The Rock or Chris Hemsworth in the latest Thor movie.
Facts.
No, yeah, I started working out like a month ago because I missed like being active in sports in high school every day, and I was like, I want to like get more fit and work out, so I started doing that, and it's felt great, felt better physically, and emotionally too, I guess, but more
Nice.
physically. So that's been good.
Good for you.
Yeah. Popcorn, Josh.
Popcorn me. I guess I'll just go through my day because it's been my first day home on break. Yesterday, well, I'll go through the last 2 days. Yesterday, I left after chapel and got home and got to see Justin's cross country meet on my way home, which was sick. He ran a PR.
No way.
He got 11th in like a decently sized meet. So that was super fun. And I got to see like fall colors for the first time this year. I've just been on campus where there aren't many like nice big trees. And then on the way home, I'm like, shoot, it's fall. And I kind of remembered why fall is my favorite season. So that was fun. Then today, I got up at 6:10.
Josh would wake up before 7 a.m.
But wait,
on a
there's a
break.
reason. I had a dentist appointment at 7.
Oh.
So I
Who
had to
does that?
I
You're a
I didn't mind it
psycho.
actually, but it was funny because it's earlier than I've woken up this entire school year at college. But I got to the dentist at 7, and it was my first time with like a new dentist because our old one left, and the new one like I wasn't quite sure about him, and then at the end he told me I had 2 cavities that I need to get filled.
No.
And I've never had a cavity my whole life. So I was first of all just like a little skeptical. Like I didn't change any of my habits. Like why do I suddenly have 2 cavities? Is this dentist like legitimate? And then I'm like, yeah, he probably like wouldn't just bold-faced lie about that to get work.
Big
I would
pharma.
hope. I would hope. I have my suspicions still, but then I was just like kind of disappointed and angry because that's money. And they were like, well, you're going back to college, so you probably want to get that taken care of. So I scheduled a filling appointment for 3:40 this afternoon. And as of 3:40, I've had my first fillings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I had it. Actually, like supper right before I came, I couldn't eat very well because my mouth was still all numb. And then like on the way driving to Cane's, we went to Cane's before this. I didn't eat because I had already eaten, but these guys had some nice chicken tenders. Anyways, my anesthesia was dying off. And now I can talk again.
Let's go.
Just in time.
Yeah, I couldn't talk super well after the fillings. But between my 2 dentist appointments, I did a physics assignment, I did a linear circuits assignment, and that's it. So yeah,
Grinding that homework.
Sounds
Yeah.
riveting.
it was a hype day of break. Not really, but now I got hopefully some free time the next 2 days. Mitch,
Well.
popcorn,
Popcorn me.
yo.
Yesterday, went to Superior, Wisconsin for an away soccer game, playing the top team in the conference probably. We played a really good game, lost 2-1 unfortunately, but we had some great improvement with our team, so we were all pretty happy with our performance despite the loss. But that happened. That was an all-day affair. Left at 11 a.m. Got back at like midnight. So kind of rough when we have away trips like that. But, it is what it is. It's college soccer. You're going to have to expect that at some point. So that happened. I've got an exam coming up for pathophysiology next Monday.
Yikes, that sounds like a tough course. What is it? Pathophysiology?
Yeah, pathophysiology.
What does that mean?
It's how injury and diseases work and also how your body responds to it.
Interesting.
So, all that kind of stuff. So, and it really sucks because these past 2 weeks, this is a class that only happens on Monday. The past 2 Mondays I've missed because of soccer, so I've had to do a lot of catch-up work, just taking notes and looking at slides and stuff. So I haven't been in class for 2 weeks, over 2 weeks, and so I haven't heard anything about what the teacher said. So let's just hope that this goes well.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
So, yeah, that's just kind of happened with me. Other than that, not much.
Cool.
Nice. All right. Well, we better get into senior year because we've got a lot of content to get through.
We've got a banger for you.
This one might be a long one. You guys have already seen the time if you're listening to this, but it might be a long one.
Yeah.
Also, as I was editing the last one, the sophomore and freshman one, we kind of like went through some smaller like stuff on that memes and trends page. And last year, it was longer. Last week for junior year, it was longer than both of those, and we like didn't touch on any of that stuff. And I was just thinking it's probably because like as we went along, first of all, we have more like vivid memories, but also just like better memories. Like I feel like our time at high school got more meaningful and like substantial.
Yeah.
Which I think holds true to senior year too. Senior year was fun, very good year. So excited to talk about it.
Let's start off with describing senior year
Oh my word.
as a game. We've done something different the last few weeks, describing each year something different. We're going to talk about as a game.
This is very
as we start
open-ended,
off.
but I like it.
So I can start. I have an idea.
Hit us.
So you guys know the board game Sorry, I assume. Very
Yep.
popular.
Yep.
So I describe senior year as the game Sorry, and here is why. Well, in the game Sorry, when you get the card Sorry, you can come out of your home and you can knock someone off the board. So the card Sorry was like COVID and COVID rules. So throughout the whole game, which is like throughout the whole year, COVID would come and just knock people out. They get exposed or they got COVID and had to be sent home. So throughout the whole senior year, people were being sent home due to COVID, due to exposure. And even during one part of the year, which we'll talk about later, like a third of our school went home. The game is really up and down. So there's some good parts. Like sometimes you're ahead and sometimes you're a little behind. But in the end, when you win the game, feels good and you feel like you've really accomplished something. And you may have gotten bumped off the game by the Sorry card at one point or gotten sent home COVID, but you still made it through. We still graduated.
Good analogy, Mike. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, Mitch, do you got one?
I do, and I don't think anyone will be surprised with the answer I'm about to give. And I think there is one word that it's in every single one of you guys' mind right now, and that's Minecraft.
What?
Did you read my mind?
Wait,
I
how'd
knew
you
that
know
was coming, but how are you going to clutch this one up? I'm interested to hear how you explain
Hear
this
me
one.
out, all right? So, actually, in the words of Super Hot Fire, check me out.
Nice.
So, on the outside, senior year, full of COVID protocols, precautions, all this annoying crap that we have to deal with all year, all right? And when you first think of Minecraft, it's just like, it's just a block game. It's on the outside, it's boring, it's stupid, it's dumb. I don't want to do that. But on the inside, when you get really into it, you get really creative with the things that you do. And the things we did in class and with our class, outside of school, inside of school, was really creative, made the year so much better than it actually would have been just looking from the outside in. And there was obviously a lot of challenges. So there's all those bosses in Minecraft, the Wither, Ender Dragon.
Oh my god.
You got all of them, all right?
Oh yeah.
So there are some big challenges that we had to face senior year, and just like in Minecraft, we slaughtered them. All right, we conquered that, and we made it all special. So, a seemingly boring game, a seemingly boring year, something we didn't really want to look forward to, actually turned out really well.
I can't lie, Mitch. You clutched that up, and there's no point in me trying to beat that. So can we get a little? I know it's a lot, but can we get one more golf clap today? That was
Good job, Mitch.
absolutely phenomenal.
Good job, Mitch. Also, yeah, Mitch, that was really good. But I just like to say, take a moment to appreciate how much better it is being in the podcast studio. Because I'm just watching Mitch talk and looking at Mike and Joey, and they're both cracking up. And you can't hear that on a phone call. They're just away from the mic, dying some of the time.
Hey,
and,
just wait until we get cameras.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
dude, we're
Sick.
thinking about implementing video sometime in the future. We'll be on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
Mike.
getting those
you guys might
views.
have that to
Mike,
look forward to.
10-second update on what's going on with the cameras.
Yeah, so right now, Northwestern is working on adding cameras to the room that will automatically switch. They'll have 4 cameras, and the camera will automatically switch to whoever's talking in the mic at that moment. So that'll come in soon. Hopefully, we'll be able to utilize that. So that'll be cool.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna. Joey, you said you're not gonna try.
You know what? Yeah. I was gonna
You might
say
as well.
I was gonna say something dumb like Farkle, because I don't know. Sometimes it's pretty good if you're you're not risking it too much, but then you just risk it one and then you hate the game because you Farkle and. But it's just how I can't
just not
beat
the
Mitch
same.
in Minecraft. Come on, that's a match made in heaven
All
right there.
That was pretty good. I have one. I'm gonna finish off kind of the trifecta of games. We've got a board game from Mike, video game from Mitch. I'm gonna go with a sport, and my sport of choice is curling.
I like it. I like it already.
I like where it's going.
Yeah, so basically curling, you've all seen it. It's like an Olympic sport somehow. But it looks pretty
Yes.
lame. You're just on ice, but you're wearing shoes. It's not fast-paced like hockey with skates.
We did wear shoes in high school.
Yeah,
You're right.
we did wear shoes in high school, just like those people playing curling. That's where the analogy ends. Just kidding. But it's kind of like a boring game on the outside, I would say. But the MVPs of curling are those people with the brooms who go in front of the rock and just scrape the ice and warm it up so that the rock goes further. And I think that's my analogy to us, especially us, but kind of our senior class and kind of the whole school in general. We're taking this not very exciting year, not very exciting sport in curling, and we're just going all out. We're energetic, we're hype, we're making it fun. And I think I like watching curling because it's just so funny to watch those guys brooming the ice.
That's a good one.
That is my analogy.
That was super good.
That was very solid.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
I would agree with those points.
Appreciate that. Well,
Yeah.
now that we have senior year described as sorry, Minecraft, Farkle maybe, and curling, let's jump in to the kickoff event, the high school retreat. Mike,
The
take it.
exciting retreat. Like we said last episode, we would go on a beginning of school year retreat. Last year we went to Luther Point. Our junior year we went to Luther Point. It was fun overnight. This is before COVID, but this is fall 2020. You ain't getting no normal retreat in fall of 2020. No, our retreat was at the high school. And wasn't it epic, boys?
it was
was.
epic.
The best part was playing, the first time we ever played Capture the Flag with pool noodles, because we weren't supposed to touch each other with our hands. We had to be pool noodles because COVID. It actually made it better, honestly, in my opinion.
I did kind of like
I
it.
think they still do it.
I think
I saw
yeah.
pictures this year of them. It's become a tradition because we used to always play capture the flag at the retreat. This year the retreat was at the high school, so in the park right next to our high school, we played it with noodles, and now they still play it with noodles.
Yeah, it is because you get to whack people with them, so it's kind
so
of fun. But one interesting thing about the retreat, and I actually haven't ever told you guys this before.
I know. I was looking and I'm like, I didn't know that.
So they were kind of stressing this is COVID times. If you're sick, you should not come to school, which makes sense. You probably shouldn't come to school anyways if you're sick. But I was like, okay, this is the beginning of the school year retreat, my senior year. I'm not missing this. And I actually, after the first day of school that night, started not feeling great. and I started to feel like some chills. I was feeling like hot and cold. It would change throughout. And the next morning, the morning we were supposed to go to school for the retreat, I took my temperature and I had 100-degree fever.
That's so funny.
And I'm like, I'm not missing this retreat. So I went to the retreat with 100-degree fever. I don't know if I had COVID or not.
Probably not.
I don't think
other
I did.
people would have gotten it.
And I really only had a fever. That was kind of the only symptom. My family never knew. My mom still does not know. I've not told her to this day. So she'll find out on this podcast. Sorry, Mom.
Mike sincerely
So,
apologizes.
yeah. Sorry about that.
That's
So, yeah,
funny.
I was slightly miserable. I still had fun. It was tolerable fever, so like I could still run around and do stuff. I still did not feel great, though. So, yeah, that was my story about the retreat.
I actually don't remember you being off at all, and you like sang in chapel and stuff.
I did. I was sick when I sang in chapel.
Yeah, that's wild that I didn't notice anything off.
I just didn't want to tell anyone at the time because,
Yeah,
of course.
No, that's very understandable. I was remembering in Capture the Flag, they were like, oh yeah, you can't touch each other, so we're using like 3-foot noodles, so you'll always be 6 feet apart. But then I just remember like Isaac and Eric like tackling each other, and like what were they, sophomores at that time or freshmen?
They were
No,
sophomores.
They were
They were
sophomores.
sophomores.
Just like wrestling each other on the field.
Yeah, there was
and
one
Capture the
point
Flag.
where Ben Laberty, who's in our class, and then Isaac Heinrichs, who's a sophomore, were like beating up Eric with the pool noodles. Like, not actually beating him up, but like Eric was on the ground.
And they're just whacking him.
And they were just like whacking him with the pool
It
noodles.
was so funny.
And like he was playing along with it, obviously. He like wasn't actually like getting really hurt, but it was pretty funny to watch.
Yeah. All right. Something unique about senior year is environmental science class, and it was actually my favorite class of all of high school. Was it your guys' favorite too? Or
Yes.
I would
was-
say that it was, unless you count like outdoor ed or something, which I don't know if you would count as
Yeah.
a normal class.
Yeah,
It was
it's
more of
an elective, but-
There was gym with Mr. Teen.
That's also an
That was
elective.
also an
but
elective.
Yeah, also good. Anyways, of like more academic classes, environmental science was my favorite. It was a Mr. V class, so that's gets you about halfway there already.
Yeah.
But environmental science was just super cool. We did lots of cool labs in the adjacent park called Lock Park. We did some labs with the flowers there, with bugs,
Trees.
We captured a lot of bugs.
trees. Yeah, we captured bugs.
A lot of memes were made during this time.
Yeah, go watch Science with the Boys, and you'll see
Yeah.
you'll
Yep.
see one of the effects of an environmental science lab.
We haven't even talked about the YouTube channel.
Oh,
No, we
well,
will.
With
It's
the boys
coming.
started
Yeah, this
around
is-
this time.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Anyways, one of the biggest things in environmental science was called the Crow-Hassan trip, and previous years it had been like a 2-day overnight trip. Overnight trip wasn't happening because of COVID, but we still went to Crow-Hassan for a day trip, and it was super fun. It was near the beginning of the year. Crow-Hassan is just kind of I think it's a regional park.
Yeah.
It's in like Three Rivers Park District, but it's a super beautiful park, and they have a restored prairie, which is one of the reasons we went there, to kind of talk to their environmentalists about the prairie and do some wildflower collecting there.
One thing I remember from that trip was just how like gorgeous the woods were, because like they didn't have any buckthorn in it, so they were the way that like they're supposed to be and natural. And that's my grandpa has some land in Wisconsin, and it's like that where you can like look through it and stuff because there's no buckthorn. But I'm interested to see if you guys remember this. I think it was this year, but it was the hymn thing where we stood out in the prairie. It was
Yes,
like
I feel like I know what you're gonna
Yeah.
say.
right before we left, and we were like singing hymns, but we were all kind of like spread out, so we weren't like looking at each
Yeah,
other.
and it was
and
like
stuff.
tall grass. You couldn't
and
see everyone.
It was tall grass, so yeah, you didn't. And I just remember just not enjoying that much. But the like the funniest thing was the bus driver
yes.
came
I
out.
totally forgot about this.
Came out and started taking pictures of us, which was super weird because it was like this old camera too. It was
Point and shoot.
Yeah, it
little
was like a
camera.
little digital point and
yeah.
shoot.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Didn't he walk up to like each one of us
Yes.
individually
Yep.
and take like a portrait of
Yep.
us? It was really weird. It was really weird.
He was a bus driver for a lot of our senior trips like that year. So he always followed us around and took pictures on his camera. I don't know what that
He was
that
a super
about.
cool guy though.
He was nice. Like, it wasn't
I liked
weird,
him.
but
Yeah, that was just kind of a little funny thing that happened.
yeah. That trip was super fun. It was like super cold in the morning. I remember it was kind of rainy. And I was like, oh, great. It's going to be rainy all day. And then it ended up being pretty sunny.
Yeah, it
And
dried out.
by the evening, it was super nice. We were out there in like shorts and T-shirts. We grilled hot dogs.
Ethan grilled a clementine.
Yep.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
trying to remember what he did. We had s'mores, hung out. Our class bonded.
Yeah, that's another thing I was gonna say is I think I remember our class like hanging out a ton together, like in different groups than we normally do, because we've always had like the four of us, so we like always hung out. But I remember hanging out with other people too, and like girls and stuff, and it was really
Yeah.
good.
This is where our class this year like started to really start bonding.
The Iron Curtain fell.
What does that mean?
You don't know the Iron Curtain?
No.
Do you not know history? The during the Cold War.
The communist regime.
Yeah, there was like a border. Like it was the Iron Curtain's like a Mitch, help me out. It's figurative.
Metaphorical.
Yeah, it's
Metaphorical.
metaphorical.
That's what I meant. That I was testing.
It's a
you guys.
Obviously, it's
metaphorical
not
curtain.
Iron
But
Curtain.
yeah, I was like say there was like a divide between the boys and the girls all the way up until like senior year. So that's why I said like the Iron Curtain.
I
fell.
get it. Yeah. No.
It
History
makes
joke.
sense.
History
it's
joke.
true.
Good
It's
job,
true.
Joey.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was super fun for our class. And then we got back from that, and like our class kept like, I think we kept growing closer together. And I think one thing that like that fall that brought us even closer together was our spontaneous trip to Chipotle. So we were in Bible class, and Mr. Schumann, what did he say?
No, I remember.
Joey's got.
Joey,
I don't
'Cause
remember
he
either.
Take
was, he was talking because it's a Bible verse, so I just remember it
Yeah.
because I'm perfect.
Ministry
I'm a
major.
ministry major. Yeah, I know the Bible like the back of my hand. And he said he was talking about the verse, "Every good and perfect gift comes from Christ."
right.
And then his example was he asked us, "Do Chipotle burritos come from God?" And rather than us thinking about that, we were like, "We should go get Chipotle tonight as a class," and that's what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we texted after class. We're like, hey, we actually going to get Chipotle tonight? And we're like, yeah. So we all went to Chipotle. I think the indoor seating was closed, so we brought all of our Chipotle to the National Sports Center parking lot, which was like right next to Chipotle. And we also, it was cold.
It
was super
freezing.
So cold. Like people were like suffering. We were in blankets, coats, pants, gloves, hats, eating our Chipotle that was cold because it was cold outside and didn't stay warm very long. But we stayed for probably an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Just like
at
talking with
least.
each other.
Well, do you remember what we did is like, it was like kind of little things first, and then we went around the circle. So everybody talked for a while, and it was like highlights from high school.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it was
like good conversation.
It was
Yeah.
so much fun because then you'd ask questions about that, and I feel like everyone was very open and stuff. Like
It took us a long time to get around the circle, which is why
yeah, it took us forever. Yeah,
because it was really the first time that like our whole class was together, like
Having
kinda,
a big group conversation.
talking through like our high school experience with each other, like the good and the weird parts.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Yeah, it was super fun.
It was good that we willingly did that too. It wasn't like some school project where we like had to converse with each other.
Yeah.
Like just talk about your high school experience, and then we're all like, "Oh yeah." But then like out here, we're just like with each other, chilling, actually like genuine about that, actually like intentional. Like, yeah, this was my high school experience, and we all just had a fun time out there. So that was a good vibe in that circle.
It was definitely a vibe. The conversation was a good vibe. The cold was not.
Yeah, definitely not.
I have Raynaud's, so I remember my hands were just like all my fingers were gone, like
Yep.
white.
They were just completely white.
But it was worth it. The Chipotle was great.
Oh, yeah.
Conversation was better.
Thank you, Mr. Schumann.
Yeah,
for
thanks,
that
Mr.
great
Schumann.
idea.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the soccer season a little. I think Chipotle was during the soccer season.
Yeah.
It's kind of overlapped. So our senior soccer season. How
Josh,
did it go?
did you play that? You didn't play that season much.
No, it was pretty disappointing season for me personally because junior year I had struggled with a lot of injuries, and then I had like been making a steady recovery. I was out all the basketball season junior year with a stress fracture, and that was like an 8-week recovery, and it was still giving me trouble through the summer. But slowly as I worked, it got less and less, and by soccer season, I was like ready to go and hype about like being able to play actually, because that was kind of in question for a bit because of COVID. But the very first game, I got pushed over and like took a fall, and immediately like the same hip pain I had all throughout junior year came back, and I was out for the rest of the game, and like I knew I would be out for a while yet because it was a similar hip injury. So that put me out for the whole season until the last 2 games where I still had a lot of pain, but I like kind of played through it. But other than that, senior year soccer season was hype because we were good.
It was solid. We were good. Yeah. I'll always remember the last moment of our last game.
Oh, hey, I don't know if you guys know this. So I might have mentioned it, but so the last game of the season, it's sections, right?
Yep.
Or
Against
Sections
Hmong.
versus Prairie Seeds.
Yep.
Prairie
Wait.
Seeds.
Versus Prairie Seeds.
That was against some. Oh.
Nope.
No,
Hmong
it's
was our
definitely-
second to last game. That was senior night.
Okay.
Yep. So it's a pretty good game. We're going back and forth. I think the final score was like 3-2 or something like that. Was a close
Prairie
game.
Seeds? I thought it was.
It was like 5-4.
I thought it was 5-4.
Okay, then maybe it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But it's back and forth tie game. I remember I had a very interesting experience because one of the things I love to do, especially in soccer, is find the best kid out there. Usually he's wearing the orange cleats and absolutely make his life miserable. That's what I like to do. That's why I became a pastor. I just feel like it's
What?
it's a joke. It's a joke.
I got you, Joey.
But
I knew it was.
I
real.
just like to humble people, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm just kidding. I'm not that good. But so they had this kid and he was really good. I think he ended up scoring the last goal. I think he had a few other ones. But we were going back and forth the whole game because I like to like push people a lot. And
Joey bodies kids up in
dude,
soccer.
I do because I ref, so you can actually get away with a lot in soccer. Most people don't know that, but you can really body people. So I was going back and forth, and I think it was during like no, it wasn't a penalty kick. It was a corner kick. Me and him were like going back and forth in the box, because what he was trying to do was get in our goalie's way. He was trying to get in Deacon's way, and I just like really just like shoved him out of there. And he got really mad, and he was like, "You want to fight, bro? You want to fight?" I turned to him and I said, "What are you gonna do? Punch me in the face? I dare you." And then he just walked away mad. It was really funny.
I remember that.
You got him.
Yeah, I really did get him because like, what are you gonna do? But the ref's right here. He's gonna see you, so just punch me in the face. Let's see you do it. And the coward walked away. So I won that battle.
1-0, Joey.
Yeah, yep. I'm the real winner of that night.
Yeah.
But who remembers the last play? Who wants to talk about
that would be me.
I think Mike has the best perspective.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah. So we're playing the game. We're nearing we're in overtime.
Yeah, it's overtime.
We're in
Yeah,
overtime.
it was tied 4-4 at the end.
I'm played defense. I'm probably midfield right now, and this kid on the other end of the field boots it, and the kid that was close to me just starts booking it towards our goal. And I'm like, oh shoot, this guy's gonna go score. So I start like booking it as fast as I can. I've never run this fast in my life. I'm running. I'm so close to catching up to him. He kicks it in the goal, scores on Deacon, and
it's
wins
sudden death.
the game. And it's sudden death. And as I go to like slide tackle him, I just lay on the ground as the whistle is blown, the wind in my hair, the crowd from the other team cheering, all muffled like it would be in slow motion in a movie.
This is so cinematic.
I was perfectly cinematically lit on the ground,
Lying in the fetal
lying
position.
in the fetal. No, what the?
What?
Lying on my back,
Just trying to think of the most
and
pathetic
someone,
thing.
one of you guys, I don't remember, came over to me, put your hand down as I was defeated on the ground, bawling. Just kidding. I was not bawling. That was sad though. Picked me up. We walked towards our fans, and we waved.
Who picked him up?
I don't know. Maybe it was actually Deacon. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I
there we
think
go.
That would probably make sense seeing that he was right there.
I remember watching that at midfield. But my first thought was offside because I swear he was.
I thought it was offside.
My dad said he was offsides.
He was
too.
offsides.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Rip,
Yeah.
we got robbed.
I wasn't catching that kid, though.
do
He
you
was so
remember what
fast.
happened? They went and they played like the number 1 seed and got killed.
Yeah,
like
so it was
7-0.
It was better that way.
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, it's also the way that they got to play us was also really stupid because like all the teams like before sections have this like big meeting or whatever considering seeding.
Oh yeah,
then-
This is so
I
funny.
remember
And
this.
then
Yeah,
Prairie Seeds was like 8 or something. And then every team was like, they would like argue to go up like one more seed. And they would just have a little discussion about it. And Prairie Seeds just kept on going up until they wanted to play us.
and then
They stopped. And like our athletic director was like, no, why are you guys letting this happen? And like he was really, really mad about it. And so was our coaches and stuff.
because we probably would have won if we had played one of the teams that because
Yeah.
Prairie Seeds just
they didn't play a lot of games.
yeah they
Yeah.
didn't have like a good looking record, so they couldn't get as high a seed as they should have. But then they knew that we were probably seeded higher than we should have been too, so they like knew we weren't maybe as good as some of the other teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, like in doing coaching and stuff and like hearing about all that stuff, how like just stupid all the little like politics. Like, guys, this is the truest statement I've ever learned in my life. Middle school just doesn't end. The drama, the people being dumb, it just doesn't. It just, people think it go away. It's still there.
Life is middle
Yeah.
school. That was profound.
And Mo
Joey.
wasn't there. Well, he was,
Yeah.
but he couldn't coach for that game. He sat in the parking lot on top of his car.
Yeah, our coach
like-
was suspended for that last game.
Yeah, because he yelled at the ref a few games ago to get some glasses. That was really funny, but it was stupid in the moment.
Anyways, so ended our soccer season. It was a good end. It was a successful season. We were definitely the best we had been
Yeah.
through all of high school.
We also didn't play as many games as we.
No, COVID kind of cut it a little, but
Yep.
we were happy to have a season at all, and it was.
And we didn't
super
have to wear
fun.
masks.
Yep, we didn't have to wear masks.
But we did have to wear masks in basketball. That sucked.
Basketball was tough.
That was tough.
Inside.
Inside.
You're not getting airflow. I just remember the first week of practice just being absolutely
that was so
brutal.
brutal.
And then everyone was like, "Oh, I heard about this guy who ran a marathon with 10 masks on." And I was like,
Proving that it was you could breathe.
"Yeah."
I was like,
so if one person can do it, we can all do it, right? Michael Jordan could dunk. Shouldn't we all be able to?
exactly.
Garbage, I tell you. Garbage.
Get it, Joey. Yeah, basketball. I just remember the masks getting like soaked.
Oh
And
yeah.
then
Yeah.
it would be like you were getting waterboarded while you were playing. 'Cause you're just like trying to breathe, but you like breathe in is like it's just like
Yeah.
wet.
Yeah.
cloth
And there were a
on your
couple
face.
times where like I would forget. Well, I would take my mask from after a game, put it in my bag, and then next time we have a game, I wouldn't have a mask. And then I would have to use the one that I used the previous
That's
game. And it's so
disgusting.
gross because you know that you just like sweated in that thing
Yeah.
and like slobbered all over that
Yeah.
thing before.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just telling you how it was.
Yeah. And you always had to like make sure your mask was over your nose too, because like that was something that the refs were looking for. It
Yeah.
was like it was so stupid because it distracted them from like actually reffing the game. And it's like they were more concerned about, hey, is your mask over your nose? I don't think it is. Get that thing up there. And so yeah, it was kind of stupid.
I mean, for the record, though, our basketball team was probably, of all the teams that we played, probably were the best at keeping our masks up. There were some
Yeah.
teams that would have them under their chin and would constantly be getting yelled at by the refs. So that was kind of annoying, not because like I felt like unsafe, just because like the refs just kept having to annoy them and talk to them. So it was just
Yeah.
kind of distracting and took us out of the game.
And it's definitely an advantage just not wearing a mask. You
Yeah,
can breathe better, you
exactly.
can run longer. So
Man, us just Christians, we're just too big of rule followers, you know.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that happened in the basketball season, Joey hit 1,000
1,000
points.
Oh
points.
yeah, that's right.
It was so hype.
that was, do you remember the game?
No.
It was the Choffers. So if
Yeah,
you
It
don't
was
know,
the Choffers.
if you don't know-
Yeah, we
Shaw-
were going to talk
Oh.
about that.
Choff stands for Christ Household of Faith. It is 110% a cult. It is really weird. You can read articles about it, but apparently the big guy that runs the cult is super into basketball, apparently. So these kids are really good at basketball.
Because that's like one of the things they do.
Yeah, that's what they do. So I just remember that game being super tough. I was maybe like 11 points away
I think that's
from that
right.
game or something. And I had got it up to like 10 or something. And then everyone just kept feeding me the ball. And I was tossing
You kept missing.
bricks, absolute bricks. And then finally I was able to get like a foul called. So my like 1,000th point was a free throw.
Which actually worked out well because then the game can
suits
kind of
you.
pause. And
Yeah.
Which was nice.
It was to the point where I was thinking maybe this wasn't the game that you were going to get your
it wasn't
1,000.
meant to be.
Yeah.
Maybe next time, but
But that was the home game we played, Choff, right?
yeah,
Yep.
it was at our
So-
home gym.
Junior year, our last game was against Choff. It was our section game, and we got centuried. I think it was like we got destroyed. It was 100 something to maybe like 60 or
That was
70.
Yeah.
and it was one of the worst games I've ever
Brutal.
played in high
Yeah,
school.
it was
by
a really
far.
bad game. But then this first time we played Choff senior year, we played them at home, and it was like a really good game. Especially, I think we were really close at half, like within a few points. I think it got away a little from us the second half, but we played like super good, and it was very unexpected that we were even close to this team. So that was really fun. And Joey had 1,000 points, which made it even more fun. Then we proceeded to play Choff in sections again, and we got destroyed.
Mhm. You guys want a little fun fact?
I do.
So I coached last year. We ended up beating the Choffers, and going through the line, the head coach would not look us in the eyes from Choff because he was so bad that we beat him. So that felt really, really good.
Satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember Justin telling me that we beat Choff, and I was just like amazed. But apparently they lost all of their good players were like seniors, which I hadn't realized, and they weren't very good anymore. So, yeah,
Mhm.
good job, Avail.
Let's go, Avail.
Take down the cult.
If you look up top cults in Minnesota, they come up.
They do.
Facts.
Fun fact. Speaking of basketball,
Team.
no, guess again. It wasn't during the winter.
Oh,
Mike knows what I'm going for. I
trick
think.
shots with the boys.
Trick shots with the boys.
The start of an era
Oh my goodness.
that is still happening, just now in podcast form.
Yep.
No,
Well, we're gonna make videos.
we'll make more.
We'll make
Yeah.
videos. Yeah.
It's just hard right now because Josh doesn't live here. So
Cringe.
Anyways, yeah, senior year was the first with the boys video. Trick
it was
shots with
actually
the boys.
summer before senior year.
Oh yeah, it was pre-senior year, but it counts.
yeah.
We were at Evan's house. We decided to make a video. We have made videos together before, but none of them.
None of them were copyrighted with the phrase "with the boys."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Trick Shots with the Boys was the first of how many with the boys videos do we have? Like
We have like
8?
10, I think,
Oh wow.
including like the camping part 1 and part 2,
Yeah.
each separate
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff like that. So
Go check out Micah Clark Films for exclusive access to With the Boys videos.
camping with the boys. We have trick shots with the boys. We have science with the boys, which is like basically the meme-ified version of all of our environmental science class that we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We have music with the boys. You can check out the banger Responsible
on SoundCloud.
on
It's
YouTube,
not on SoundCloud.
which we'll play as the outro to this podcast.
Oh yeah, we will.
We've done Cooking with the Boys. That one was a good one.
Camping with the boys.
Camping with the Boys, part 1 and
One,
part 2.
two.
And then we did it again this past summer, Camping with the Boys 2. And then
We did hanging out.
we did Hanging Out with the Boys. And then we did another one too.
We did. We had a meetup planned, and Joey was sick.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we did a song that Evan loves to play on piano. See you again.
By Charlie Puth.
Except it was all about seeing Joey again because
He had
wasn't
COVID.
there.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was exposed.
Sorry.
Well, once the basketball season started wrapping up, it was kind of getting to the spring, the end of the school year. And something that comes with spring every year is prom. And we weren't positive we were going to have a prom.
Yeah, I was a little worried.
Some schools weren't. But
And like, I mean, you guys were in student council, you and Joey.
Yep.
So can you like talk a little bit about like fill me and Mitch and like what some of the behind the scenes were happening back there?
yeah, so we all wanted prom because we're the students and we're for the students and the students wanted prom. So we were kind of fighting for it. And I think all along, leadership was kind of with us that they wanted to have a prom. But we were just kind of going back and forth on the protocols because obviously we're anti-protocols, but because we're a school and institution, there had to be some sort of stuff to manage the contact because COVID was still very much a thing. So student council had to do a lot of planning and write up about how prom would go, and we came to some plans with pods. So basically, we would have signed up with 6 to 8 people, and you would have been able to like eat at their table without masks and like dance close to those people. But there would be like all these different pods, and with people from other pods, you would have to kind of stay distanced or be masked when you were by those other people. So that was kind of the plan, and we had to, as the student council, work to get students on board with that. So
Did not go great.
it didn't go great. It went as good as you could expect. We announced the theme, which was A Starry Night in Paris, and we had a banger of an announcement video that I made with Joey at Aquator Park. It was super good.
I remember that. We film that in like 5-10 minutes or something.
It was 10 minutes max.
Yeah, and it was actually really funny.
Yeah.
Was that the baguette one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made a joke about like a baguette because France, and it was like a stick. And then we had Joey walking in Lock Park, and then he like looked up and there's a big telephone tower that looks slightly like the Eiffel Tower. So we made an Eiffel Tower joke. We're like
Classic.
Starry Night in Paris. But then we did that announcement video and then had to get people on board with the protocols. So we made another video kind of outlining what prom would look like, but we tried to do it in like a humorous and fun way. And that went over pretty well. Like people thought it was funny. We showed it at chapel.
Oh, that was the one
yeah.
where you're dancing in your backyard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
we
super
did it
far
with
apart.
the boys in Josh's backyard.
I forgot about that.
That was
Yeah.
a great time.
Yeah, it was super fun. But basically, there was still a little bit of a damper because it wasn't going to be a normal prom and everyone was a little bummed. But then 2 weeks before prom, people started dropping like flies.
Yeah, it was not good. Because, well, I got exposed to COVID from Kylie, my girlfriend. She got COVID. Her whole family got COVID. I came back, and then pretty soon after that is when people started dropping, like a couple weeks after that.
Yeah, and it was 2 weeks before probably like a fourth of the students were gone, and then like a week and a half to the week of prom, like almost 2/3 to 3/4 of the student body was gone. And a lot of them were gonna like be cleared to come back to school the day before or the day of prom. And that was kind of a stressful week as I was president of student council at that time and kind of talking with Joey and Sophie and Mr. V deciding what to do with prom. Ultimately, we decided to postpone it because we wanted to make sure as many students as possible could be there. So we had to send out an email saying, hey, you know that prom that was going to happen in 2 days? It's not happening, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, we were a little sad about that.
Yeah.
We saw it coming, but it was super disappointing.
Yeah,
kind of
it was
frustrating.
disappointing.
So we were
But-
all really frustrated about that.
In the
So-
long run, it was probably the best decision I made.
Oh yeah,
Student
Blessing
council.
in disguise.
blessing.
Because, actually, Mitch, you tell about what happened.
Since you work at Dairy Queen, you should tell us.
Yeah, so after school one day, we all, like a bunch of us, after we all got back, we decided to go to Dairy Queen and get some ice cream, use me for a discount, which I like doing for people because it's fun, introducing them to my people there. Anyways, we're all sitting outside, eating our ice cream, and we all get an email, a school-wide email saying, COVID precautions are all lifted.
Every COVID precaution is lifted because the state had just lifted all COVID precautions like
yeah,
a
No,
day
the
before.
state had stopped mandating them for
Yeah,
like schools,
yes.
and because we're a private school, like public schools still had to do stuff.
Yeah.
But because we're a private school, we then had the power to like
School
say,
choice, baby.
we're not doing that. So no masks, and this was like right before the last week of school.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was at the end pretty much.
We were like cheering in the Dairy Queen like outside
Yeah.
seating area. We were like all high-fiving each other like
Yeah.
It
going
was just
crazy.
such a fun time.
It was such
because-
a good
so
vibe.
hype.
Yeah.
I don't think I was there.
You were
You
not.
weren't.
No.
Okay, so this is interesting because I think I actually kind of had a sneak peek of this before it actually happened. Is because I think we had a break or something. It was like a Friday, and I was there like by myself, waiting to go to baseball, and Mrs. K walked by and was like, "Oh yeah, we'll see you when you get back." And then she said something about like we probably won't have masks or something. It was very like subtle, but it was like a hint, and I was just like really confused. Like, what? Are we not gonna have to wear masks when we get back? So yeah, that was kind of crazy, but that was really cool.
Because what did we have Memorial Day? Was it Memorial Day and then we had no masks? No, it was
Yeah.
before that or something like that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was super.
Somewhere around
That was
then.
so good.
Anyways, the prom that got postponed was postponed to the second week of summer
After school's out.
after school was out. And because we were going to originally still have protocols at the prom, even though it was postponed to the summer, but because those protocols were lifted in that last 2 weeks of school, there was nothing at prom either. So partially it was like, oh, we did all that work for nothing because prom was postponed and then nothing needed to happen with protocols. But it was also just super relieving because it felt like a totally normal prom.
Yeah. God moment.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Where was it?
It was at
Off of 65.
Banquets of Minnesota.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was the first time we had it at a new venue, and it turned out to be like super
Yeah.
nice.
It was
the
really good.
inside was super nice.
The outside
Yeah.
was not. It was like right on a big highway.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the place they were at this past spring. That was
Yep.
super nice. That was more like the TPC, which is where we had it before. But it was like pretty nice outside. It was like around Bunker, and then the inside was super nice. Like a lot of
Oh,
windows
yeah.
too, so it was pretty open. So
Nice.
yeah. Fun fact: me and Joey went to
Oh, yeah.
prom this past spring, even though we both graduated, but because we were both invited by people.
Made
So
it super hype. I'm
we
sure.
did make it super.
Oh,
hype.
yeah. We were gritting all over the place.
I believe that. Actually, going back in time a little, before prom, in the last 2 weeks of school, this was before the mandate was like lifted. So I think it was like third to fourth week before school was out. Traditionally, our school has done spring trips, which every other year it was either trips with your advisory or the Washington, D.C. trip for juniors and seniors and the Arkansas trip for freshmen and sophomores. Our Washington, D.C. trip would have been junior year, but it was canceled because of COVID. And this year we weren't able to do any like big out-of-state trips just because of COVID too. No overnight stuff was really allowed. But we still did spring trips. It was just more local stuff in Minneapolis. So the juniors and seniors did some fun stuff, including...
Pig dissection.
That was not fun.
I liked that.
I was gone. And
Joey-
it was
okay,
a miracle.
this is
very
from God.
conveniently-
This is
gone.
funny. Joey was my partner during pig dissection, and he had an appointment during the start.
Okay.
And he said he was going to be back, but then he was like, "Oh, but maybe I won't be," because Joey hates. We dissected
Formaldehyde.
we dissected frogs in 7th grade, and it made Joey sick. So he was not looking forward to this.
Okay, to be very clear, I did not have an appointment. I toured Northwestern.
That's an appointment.
Oh my word. It was a college visit, and it's now the college I go to. So it was kind of important. And I don't think I stalled. I don't remember stalling.
I was almost sure you had, because you said you were going to be back like basically when we started, and I was just waiting like the whole hour and a half we were doing it. Like, is Joey coming? And you never came.
Yeah. That's what I was remembering. It's like,
But
where
maybe
is
it just
Joey?
went really long, and it was a super good tour. And I don't know.
Maybe
I'm not-
I did stall. I don't
Joey
I don't
was
remember.
flirting with the tour guide, probably.
with the admissions counselor.
I definitely was not, because I was dating Mandy at that point.
Oh, right. Forgot about that.
I think my tour was with Sage, which is kind of funny because now I have classes
Oh,
with her.
really? That's funny.
I think so. I don't know for sure.
Anyways, dissecting pigs was for some reason counted as part of our spring trip week. That was not fun, but the other stuff was fun.
I
We-
liked that.
I like that. It's a
Okay,
pig.
maybe it was fun for some people.
Me and Mitch were together. Once we were done doing the stuff we were supposed to, we started just like stabbing it and like taking
Yeah.
its eye out.
Yeah, that was a little
That was very fun.
little gross.
Yeah.
Joey's dying over there. Yeah, Joey,
Joey's
you're-
dying in the timeout studio
I
right
can
now.
just picture Mitch just with a fork just stabbing it in the eye over and over again.
Just a little scalpel, just just gouging it out.
But the next thing we did was we went to an art studio where we made stuff with glass, which
Yeah.
was really cool, actually.
We made stuff with the glass.
That was lit.
We did like some like stuff with a blowtorch.
Yep.
So that was kind of fun. Another day we went to a Native American museum.
Historical museum on
Thing.
a reservation.
One of my favorite days was the day we went on the boat. We went on a boat tour.
That was awesome.
It was like a riverboat down the Mississippi.
Yeah. And we got like food and we got to like go on the boat lock thing, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Walker Art Museum and we took some gold
Oh my
pictures.
word. We took some
That-
really good
Okay, so
pictures
me,
there.
me, Joey, and Mitch, and Mike, we went around to all the sculptures, and and we tried to find like the most obscure angle, like something that like you couldn't even tell what the piece of art was, and then we would all take a selfie with it. So like
Yeah.
there was a big chicken, and we like went behind the chicken, like got under it and took like a picture. So it just looks like a big black blob behind us. It's
Yeah,
really
It was like
funny.
just its tail.
And then we would also take pictures with like like a pole on the ground that like
Yeah.
wasn't even art, but we just like
Oh, we took a picture of like there's a softball field right up to
Yeah.
the walker, and we took a picture with like the softball field scoreboard, acting like it was a piece of amazing art.
Yeah.
that was
Those
so
pictures
good.
are
I remember
super good.
going like under or like inside one of the sculptures and just shooting a picture straight up,
Yep.
Yeah,
and you
Yep.
just couldn't tell what it was.
we did a lot of funny things. So
Anyways,
that was like peak comedy for us.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if we'll ever
we were
reach that
so
high
funny
again.
senior year.
That was prime.
Anyways, Joey, you were going to talk a little bit about the art place.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So story. So after we come back from the art studio, Jasana, who's in our class, she's great, but she's a little more on the Pentecostal side of the church denomination spectrum. She's like dead serious afterwards and was like, I walked in there and I did not have a good feeling about it. Like I felt like the presence of demons in there. And then no joke, Olivia right after says, yeah, I felt that too. And I no joke, 100% believe him. I didn't feel it, but I totally believe it.
Liz Jex also
Right.
Yeah.
too.
It was multiple of them. It was kind of interesting. I kind of believe it.
I have not heard that till today, so that's
Really?
news to me.
Wow. I thought that was like kind of a topic we were talking about. But
Yeah, maybe I just wasn't in that conversation. I really enjoyed the art studio, but I don't know. Could be.
It was fun. We got to play with fire, which was
Yeah.
a good time and stuff. I was kind of surprised with the freedom we had. Because
Yeah.
we were messing around with gas and flames, and like if you would have let the gas run for a while and then like crank the flame, like you could like launch
Yeah, they
fire
were, like-
really far.
Yeah.
Warning us about explosions.
he was so casual. He was like, "Yeah, just make sure
You don't do
you
this.
don't turn this all the way up when you first turn it on, or else you might explode the whole place." So just make sure you do it like slowly. It's like, why are you letting us high schoolers do this right now?
Would not trust us if I were you.
Yeah, so that was funny.
And we didn't burn down the building, so
Yep.
it was a good time.
We made it. We
On
made it
all,
past
spring
that.
trips were
We
a
made it to
success.
graduation
Yeah.
alive, no burns.
Graduation was so much fun.
Yeah, I loved shaking everyone's hand up on the stage. Oh,
Oh, wait. Elbow bumps.
Elbow bumps.
See,
Yeah.
there's a little amendment we need to make. We said no precautions whatsoever from that Dairy Queen point on,
There was still some.
but there was one when we quote unquote shook all the teachers' hands. We actually just bumped elbows.
Yeah, that was not our choice.
It was very cringe. We
Well,
didn't
like,
have control.
The
over
room
it,
was
so.
full of people. We were close together. There was no masks, but we had to elbow bump. So that was great.
We can't complain too much though, because like before all that was lifted, we were planning on like only being able to invite, I don't know, like 6 people.
We had like to have a sign up list of like
Yeah.
a certain number of people. Like
But then that got
6 people inside, and then if it was outside, 15 people or
like,
something.
Yeah. But after that, just anyone could come, which we were super grateful for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All in all, we had a super good end to the year. The whole year was good, but like kind of all that stuff being lifted at the end just was like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Literally.
Get it?
Except for the guy who ran a marathon with 16 masks.
Yeah,
He apparently
keep
can
those
have breaths of fresh air anytime he wants.
Even with-
so
innumerable masks.
yeah. No,
Um,
it ended the year super good.
Yeah, graduation was hype. But overall, like when we think back on senior year, and we had to do a lot of reflection senior year because our school does something called senior projects,
Yeah.
which is basically a threefold project. One part of it is doing what they called a faithfulness project, previously a passion project, which you basically pick something you're passionate about, and it's usually kind of service related or doing something for others related to your passion. And then there's the senior memoir, which is basically you write out your life story and kind of connect it with a common theme, a thread throughout your life story. And then the final thing is a senior presentation, which we all give presentations the last week of school, kind of summarizing our high school experience and connecting it to some themes we use at our school.
What'd you guys think of the memoirs?
That's what I was going to talk about because I think it helped me kind of get a solid grasp on the whole high school experience and kind of my perspective on senior year was shaped by the memoir. I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it really gave me a chance to kind of like realize that my high school journey was a story, and that's something that I had to like shape it into in word form. So I think just capturing all those memories and then putting it into one cohesive story was super interesting, super fun. Really gave me a chance to reflect on like how I had changed from my freshman and sophomore year to like who I was my senior year. And we've kind of talked about that, how like I wasn't really friends with the boys and I'll be friends with other people and I wouldn't really hang out with them. But then like how much that changed between underclassmen and upperclassmen years. So
Yeah.
just
And
that
I feel like
change. Yeah.
when you're in it, you don't really think about that. Like you look back and like, oh, I wasn't friends with them, but then you are now, and you don't really think about it that much. But the memoir forced you to kind of reflect and see all that growth, and put it into words, which I thought was helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Joey, did you like the memoir? I know you're not as much of a fan of writing, but
I enjoyed parts of it. I'm just not very good at reflecting, just in general. I more remember events and stuff and like people rather than like emotions and stuff, which
yeah, that's
is
fair.
which is more helpful for reflection. So
Yeah, the memoir was definitely hard because you were challenged to kind of find something common throughout the whole story. So if you're just remembering standalone events, that's hard to make those all connected. But I think that's still valid to like remember certain things. And
yeah, for sure. I think I did like themes for mine. I think I divided mine up into like 5 different interests of mine or things that were important to me.
got it.
And then I had more small stories rather than longer stories.
Yeah. But that was kind of all of those things were a good wrap up to our year and just kind of helped cap off our high school experience.
Yeah. I think our senior year overall taught us to have fun and to make everything is what you make it.
That was kind of our battle cry through senior year. Like high school is what you make it. And I remember in my senior presentation, I like said something about that. Like if I've learned anything through high school, especially the past 2 years, like junior and senior year, life is going to be what you make out of it more than what's happening around you. So senior year, we just kind of, the 4 of us and our class and trying to affect the whole school, we just made the most of what it was. If things weren't ideal, we still had fun. We still were positive as much as we could be.
Yeah. You can choose to sit in the corner of the winter dance and become Captain Sad.
Called out.
You can get in the action and dance the night away with the boys.
And do the Russian doll dance in the middle of a circle of screaming
Shout out
females.
Mitch.
Oh, yeah.
So hot. Oh my goodness. Guys, I have video of Mitch at senior prom throwing it down
So good.
in the middle of a giant circle.
That was one of my greatest traditions ever.
Mitch would go hard at dances.
Yeah.
Mitch would stretch before he danced.
Yep.
Did he actually? What?
Yes, he
Yeah,
stretched,
I'd stretch.
and then the day after he would be sore.
Yeah.
Oh my word!
Even despite the stretching, like even after it, I would just get cramps so easily. It was
Gotta eat
it
more
was
bananas.
so worth it though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious. Anyways, no better way to end off a podcast than talking about Mitch's dance moves.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, well, I think that'll do it for senior year.
Yeah. Thanks for coming along this high school journey with us, guys. It was fun to kick off the 245 podcast with our high school years. It was
Some
fun
reminiscing.
to do some reflecting.
Joey, even though you're not into reflecting, did you have fun?
I had so much fun because it's amazing how much of this stuff you don't remember very well. Even like the stuff we talked about this year, I have very vivid memories of some of it, and some of it I just didn't even remember.
Yeah, it's really cool because I feel like all of us remember like different parts,
Yep.
but then we're
Yep.
reminding each other of
Yeah.
those parts.
Yep.
And, like it comes all back really
Yep.
fast.
And it's
Yeah.
so cool. Like we'll have this podcast like forever, so
It's
we
a
can
time capsule.
so we can come back and we can listen to it, and that'll be really hype.
When we're
Yeah.
old and we don't remember anything from high school,
Exactly.
now we will.
We all have dementia. We
Yeah.
can go back to this podcast.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we had a good time, Joey. I'm glad, despite being in the timeout studio, you still had fun during this episode. But
It's great. I can, if I angle it right, I can see all 3 of you at the same time.
that's good.
Look deeply into all of your beautiful blue. Do all of you have blue eyes? Do we all have blue eyes?
No, I have hazel.
I have hazel eyes.
Oh,
I have blue eyes.
whatever. What? Sorry, what do you say?
I
Rich?
have blue eyes, Joe.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Looking in your gorgeous eyes, it was a good time. It's so hyped to see Josh here. Guys, it's so weird, but it's so
such
great.
a different dynamic.
It is.
It
It is
is.
better.
We love it.
It's way better.
I think Josh talked more because he was in the
Oh,
studio.
for sure.
I definitely did. It's kind of hard to like get into the conversation because of the delay over a phone call.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of crossing over, which some of it I've been editing out in post, like kind of stretching it so there's not as much overlap, but it's still easier in a studio.
Yeah.
What we should get is like a little light that Josh can press in Iowa, and it'll light up in the studio. And
I
we'll
want to
know-
talk. I want to talk.
Yeah, it's the Josh button.
Yeah. We'll invest in that.
Yeah,
We'll use
we'll
our
work on
money
it.
from our sponsorships to buy a Josh
Doritos.
button. And Doritos. Come on.
Well, yeah, that's until we have enough money just to fly me up here every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming along on our high school saga. It was a ton of fun. And we will see you in the next episode. Hope you all have a great day.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
See you in the next realm.
Peace out, gangsters.
I'm responsible, I'm responsible. I drink but wait to drive cause I'm responsible. I'm a ladies man, but only with consent. You can count on me cause I'm responsible. I'm responsible.